Hi everyone, welcome to Words in Stars. My name's Eleanor and this is the first ever video on my brand new booktube channel. I'd been thinking about starting a booktube channel for a good number of years now and just never really did it. But it's now 2020, I've been in Bookstagram for a number of years, I've been blogging-ish for a number of years, so I thought it was finally time to branch out into something new. So a little bit about me. I'm 22, I'm from the UK. If you can't tell by my accent, I'm from the north. I fear this is not going to come across and that makes me exponentially sad, so I'm sorry to all my northern friends if I sound not like one of you. Aside from my dabbling in blogging and bookstagram, I'm also the book reviews editor for a website called bookstacks.com. I've been a book reviewer since I was 16 and loved it. Last year I got chosen to be the book reviews editor and it's very fun and very cool and the team is lovely. If you like young adult books, then go and check us out. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I've tried to film this video twice before already and I just kept forgetting stuff and sounding all nervous and weird, so we're going to hope that this third time's the charm because I do not want to talk about these things ever again. That's not true. I will talk about these books many more times throughout my life, but I just don't want to film this video again. So bear with me if it's a little bit stilted, if the editing's a bit shoddy. This is my first time. I'm doing my best. Today I'm going to talk to you about my favourite reads of 2020 so far. There's only 3 books here, but that's fine because it's only May. I've got a lot more reading to do. I don't want to get ahead of myself. And also, I've just not been blown away by many of the books I've read so far. I've enjoyed them, but I wouldn't say they're like, wow, favourite books. And that's fine. As long as I'm enjoying what I'm reading, that's all that matters really, innit? So book number 1, if you haven't guessed already, is Crescent City, A House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas. If there's anything that you need to know about me, and about a lot of what I'm probably going to talk about on this channel, it is that I am Sarah J Maas trash, okay? I love her. I've loved her since I picked up Throne of Glass too many years ago now, and I will probably continue to love her until the day I die. Crescent City is Sarah J Maas's first... Do I need to say all her names every single time? Is that weird? Crescent City is Sarah's first adult fantasy novel. Her previous series, Throne of Glass and A Court of Thorns and Roses, are young adult. So this is an urban fantasy, and it follows a character called Bryce Quinlan. Is that right? It follows a character called Bryce Quinlan, and she ends up wrapped up in a lot of intrigue and drama and just stuff she doesn't want to get wrapped up in. After her best friends are killed by an unexpected force, not a spoiler, it says it in the blurb, it's okay that I've told you that. 2 years later, the same types of crimes that killed her best friend start up again, and Bryce is terrified, which is fair enough. Because the murders are so similar to the original ones, Bryce is enlisted to help and is given a guard to make sure that she does actually do what she's been told to do. If any of you know Sarah J Maas, you can probably see where it's going, and that is fine because we love a good, brooding male. So obviously there's a lot more going on than I can explain because I don't want to give any of this away. I went into this knowing very little. In fact, I didn't actually read the blurb, which I often don't for my favourite authors because blurbs kind of ruin the story for me. I've read an awful lot in my little life and sometimes blurbs just tell me a bit too much and I can already see where it's going, so I just ignore them, especially if I know I love the author. So yeah, I went into this pretty blind, or only knowing that it was adult, that it was urban, and it was Sarah J Maas. So, you know, there's themes and language and stuff that you can expect from this. And the reason this is one of my favourite books of 2020 so far is because it just reeled me in, as Sarah often does. The beginning I was a little bit unsure about. It started a bit rocky. There was a bit too much foul language. It was a bit at the beginning, but that eventually faded. And once it did, and I got properly wrapped up in the story, I honestly could not stop reading. I devoured every single page. I fell in love with the characters, no matter how mean or awful they were. I fell in love with them, and I honestly cannot wait to see how Sarah continues the series and to have my heart ripped out and stomped upon again by her. So thank you, Sarah, for that. Next up is another adult fantasy book that, again, a lot of you have probably heard of, and that is God's Grave by J. Kristoff. Now, I read Nevernight last year after it being on my TBR for too long. So long that Dr. Dawn came out before I read Nevernight, but that's okay, that's fine. God's Grave is the second to Nevernight, and it continues the story of Mia Corvair. Mia goes to train to be an assassin in the first book, and meets some other assassins and murderers, etc. along the way. The reason she goes to do that is because she is seeking vengeance on the governing bodies who destroyed her life, destroyed her family, everyone's dead, sad times, for there only to be more sad times to come. Now, God's Grave, as I said, is the second one. It is quite different in setting from the first book, which I adored because J. Kristoff is master at scene setting, world building. There's so much detail in here that honestly I don't understand how he writes other books as well, like how his brain is not just taken up by the scope of this world. There's little footnotes in here from the narrator, which is intriguing and funny and clever and gives you so much more background information that just makes the world come alive even more. I've got a feeling that the narrator is going to be revealed in Dark Dawn in the finale, and I'm a little bit scared because I saw how people reacted on Twitter, I saw the tears, and my heart is not ready for that yet. I don't have much longer to wait to have everything revealed and my heart smashed, because I've pre-ordered the paperback, which is out on the 11th of June, because I have the first two in paperback and I am nothing if not consistent. Just read it. If you want a dark fantasy and if you're just ready to have your emotions played with, then this is a really, really good book. I swear it's not as horrifying as it seems. It is amazing. It just reels you in and it keeps your mind engaged and it makes you not want to put it down ever. This is definitely a series that I will be rereading many times in the future. The third and final novel I'm going to talk to you about is another Sarah J Maas. I'm sorry, we will calm down on the Sarah front. There will be other things to talk about. The third and final book is Empire of Storms by Sarah J Maas. This is the sort of second to last, sort of third to last book in the Throne of Glass series. Depends on whether you count Tower of Dawn as 5.5 or book number 6. I'm currently rereading this series. As you can see, I've read this before. I read it when it first came out. And on the reread, I would suggest that Tower of Dawn is actually book 6 rather than book 5.5, because even though it kind of covers the same time frame as this book, you can't go into the final book, Kingdom of Ash, without understanding what's going on in Tower of Dawn. Otherwise there's going to be loads of characters introduced, so you're not going to have a clue who's who or what's going on or what any of it means. So yeah, read Tower of Dawn. I've been rereading Throne of Glass because Lockdown Existence has kind of made me struggle to read a little bit. I was finding it hard to keep reading, especially after I finished God's Grave, and was so overwhelmed and shook that I couldn't pick up anything else because I knew nothing was going to match up to the exquisiteness of that story. So I thought I'd throw myself back into something that I know I love and is easy and is fun and would completely take me away from the hellhole that the world has become. I am about halfway through Kingdom of Ash now. I've read these back to back in the space of maybe 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more, I'm not sure. I still love them, although my opinions to some characters have changed. I might do a whole video talking about Throne of Glass because I have a lot of thoughts, especially having read them one on top of the other. My original favourite was Crown of Midnight and I still do adore that book, but the reread Empire of Storms is now my favourite. Even being halfway through Kingdom of Ash, I know that this one is now my favourite. There's reveals and characters that I just can't help but love, and I was racing to get to this book for certain moments that I knew were coming and I had to read, and I love it so much. Everything you love about Throne of Glass and more is in Empire of Storms. It continues the series perfectly. It throws your heart into your mouth, makes you cry, makes you laugh. I cried many times, even though I already knew what was going to happen. As you can see by all of these nice tabs here, there are plenty of phrases, words, scenes to draw you in, to get you hooked, to settle in your cold, frozen soul. And it brings a little bit of warmth to my life, at least. This series has really got me through lockdown so far. I don't know how much longer it's going to last in the UK. I don't want to get into that. After I finish Throne of Glass, I am doing a buddy reread of Court of Thorns and Roses, and I'm probably going to read that series back to back as well. Like I said, I'm Sarah J Maas trash. What more do you need to know? And that is all the books I'm going to talk about today. If you've read any of those books, then I'd really like to hear about it and really like to hear your thoughts. Label your spoilers, folks. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. I hope you'll stick with me as I discuss books because, oh wow, I love reading so much. I also just want to do a little shout out to anybody that's come from Bookstagram because I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate how many of you have followed me recently. I'm just really grateful for everyone that likes my posts and comments and follows me. It's really nice. It's a great community. If you're not on Bookstagram, then maybe go and check it out because there are some amazing accounts on there. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Leave a little comment, leave a little like, subscribe for more of this. Before you know it, I'm going to be a whiz. I'm going to know how to edit well. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. Thank you for watching. Hope you're all safe, hope you're all well, and I'll see you soon. Bye.